lighting okay?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Before we launch into the course, there's a couple key general principles that I need you to keep in mind in everything you do. Not just in your pre-med stuff, not just tomorrow. I'm talking about for the rest of your life, these principles will serve you well. So before we get into all the domains, here are some general principles to guide you to pre-med success. Principle 1, I cannot do it for you, right? As the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make a horse drink, right? Well, you're a pre-med. I can lead you, I can show you the route to medical school, but I can't make you walk it. You have to want it, guys, and you have to want it better than anything you ever wanted. Because it's easy to say, I'm a pre-med, I'm going to medical school, right? You say it, you believe it, you feel like you're already in. But I got news for you, you're not in yet. And if you want to get there, you're going to have to work harder and longer and smarter than every other student who also wants to get there to beat them out. And I want you guys to take a look at this picture, because it's one of my favorite pictures in the world. And it says so much in one single image. And if you read the quote there, it says, everyone wants to be successful until they see what it takes. That's what medical school is. That's what being a doctor is, right? Everyone sees themselves in the white coat, right? Driving the Ferrari, saving people's lives, right? George Clooney, ER, right? It doesn't happen that way. It's like this picture, right? We see that fancy shoe on the right and say, oh my gosh, ballerina, I could do that. It's so beautiful. They're so graceful and wonderful, on point, right? But who here knows a ballerina, right? Have you ever met a ballerina? I lived with a ballerina my freshman year at the Doors, right? And she was a very nice girl, but her feet were like that picture on the left. Horrendous, okay? I made her wear slippers everywhere she went because I was scared not for her own myself, but for the carpet. I mean, her toes were awful. That's what it's about. And for her, she didn't care. She wore her feet out because she was proud. Because she knew that those toes, right, those blisters, right, those sores, all the pus coming out of her feet, that was all signs that she had put in the time, the effort that was required to be successful as a ballerina. Pre-med is the same, right? It's hard, you know, right? If you don't know, you're going to find out soon. Pre-med is a hard, hard road. And no one makes it through unscathed. And people can tell you what they want to tell you, that, oh, undergrad was a breeze, medical school was a breeze. It's not. It takes hard work and dedication, and you're going to be bruised and beat up. But if you continue to push through and persevere, you're going to make it. But you have to have an understanding that you're going to have setbacks, that you're going to have hardship, that there's going to be struggle, otherwise you will not make it. So understand that right now. I'm going to give you all the goods, everything you need to know, but you're going to have to execute. And I'm going to tell you in advance, right? Because I know pre-meds, I've worked with enough students. Some of you are going to go through this course and you say, oh man, I got it all. And then you're not going to get to medical school. You're not going to do it. And you're going to be upset. And you're going to blame me. Oh, Andre Pine said he didn't know what he was talking about. That course was awful. Oh, my mom this. Oh, my teacher's that. But at the end of the day, we both know who's to blame. It's going to be you. Because you didn't work the plan. You didn't do what you had to do to get to medical school, so you didn't get there. Take the time now, set your mind to it, and know that no one else can want it for you. You have to want it, you have to take it, and you have to grab it if you want to get to medical school. How's that?
Excellent. That was really, really good.
Okay. You don't have to stop it, we can keep going.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Principle number 2, you need to know the purpose of the application if you're going to be a successful applicant. What do I mean? Well, like I said, there's a bunch of junk and misinformation out there on the internet, and people incorrectly assume that the purpose of the application is to get into medical school. It's not. Just a little heads up. It is not, right? And if you have that misconception, what happens is you hear about students with 3.8 GPAs, students with perfect MCATs, students with all this research who didn't get into medical school. And you can psych yourself out because you say, wait, if someone with a 3.8 GPA didn't get into medical school, oh my gosh, I have no chance. That's not the case. The purpose of the application is to get an interview. Did you hear that? Let me repeat it. The purpose of the medical school application is not to get into medical school, it is to simply get an interview, to get a face-to-face, to show who you are. And it's important to understand that, because when you understand that, then you understand how a student with a 3.8 GPA doesn't get into medical school. They don't get in because when they showed up to their interview, they're awful, right? They're a robot, they're a spelling bee kid, right? They can't function in human situations. You don't want to be that. So develop your personality, develop yourself, but more importantly, understand that whatever your stats are, if you work hard, if you want it, you're going to get to medical school. But understand the purpose of the application is just not to look so bad that they don't want to have you at their school, right? You don't want to be scary serial killer guy. You want to be nice, smart, potential guy who they want in their medical school. So understand the application, all you want is an interview. So with that in mind, right, that's your goal, is to get an interview. All you have to do is submit a well put together, well balanced portfolio application that shows yourself off with no red flags. Okay? If you get nothing else from this program, understand, when you're applying to medical school, it's not about being perfect. It's about being good enough for them to invite you for an interview and not scaring them away before that time. Okay? The other part of that, right? So now we understand what the application is about, and we understand what that means for our pre-med life. But the other thing is, it tells you why this course is so important. This course is not for someone who's applying tomorrow. If you're applying tomorrow to medical school, you may get some helpful things out of this course, but it's not about the application. What we're talking about is your pre-med life and dominating pre-med so that way you can get into medical school. It's about starting early and understanding by getting this course, you're now going to know what you need to do. So now you have 4 years, 3 years, 2 years to execute this plan and get into medical school. So watch this course, understand what you need to do, and get it done. The last thing, I am against application support, right? You guys may have heard of these companies out there that charge you $3,000 to sit down with you and help you fill out the medical school application. That is an absolute waste of your money, because what you should have been doing is preparing for 4 years to apply by building yourself up, by building your resume, by building your GPA. And if you do all that, then all you have to do is turn it in. Put some fancy words on it and turn it in, and your application will sell itself. And that's what this course is going to allow you to do. But understand what the application is about.
Awesome.